I recently did a video on how to combine flowers, like specific flower combinations and borders that go together, but I thought I would do one that shows how to combine more items from this tile or pathway section in the permanent shop. So let's look at some other things in here that go together besides just the flowering items. I will do some flowers as well, but we'll do some of the paths and hedges and other things too, just to give you a better idea of what you can do with these different elements. So I have a cleared out space here, and I have a bunch of things I put on the boat that we can work with, because some of these things actually create different things than you might expect. So for example, you've got this little trellis, which is really pretty by itself, and of course you can make it, you know, turn and go around things if you want. But it also actually creates a little dome if you do it like this, where if you connect where it goes out in 4 different ways, and I believe it might, even if it only goes in 3 ways. Nope, just 4. Sorry, it has to connect completely like that. So that's kind of cool. And then you can also connect it all the way around if you really wanted to, like this, to make a full pathway around a dome. I feel like that looks a little crowded to me. So let's take some of these out, keep our dome in the center, and then see what else we can do with it. Let me scoot this a little bit forward. Again, they have to be crossing in the middle to make that dome. And then let's take our hedges and connect those. Now you notice as soon as it turns, it squares it off. So the little archway is only on the end, so where it ends at. There we go. Those are some options there, and that looks kind of cool too as it is. The other thing I like to do with these is kind of make the squared off look. So if you put these in the center part, then you can have a whole kind of squared off look, which I think is really cool. And that actually forms additional domes. Like, isn't that awesome? So that's a cool thing if you want to make a little pathway around. Now I'm going to do this with the water and kind of get it to go around the edges. And we'll make some really cool little features here. Let's just kind of pull this all the way around here. Oops, not that one. Oh, I did not get enough water in here. Let me grab some more water just because I think it will make a difference. Oh, don't have any there stored. I'll have to go back to work and steal some more. I am waiting for my August set to finish up. Got tons of things here waiting to complete, so I'm just going to steal a couple of these and bring them back over, just so we can play around a little bit more and you can see some other cool ways of doing things. Alright, let's add this water in to the corner. Right, and I love to finish off water edges with these waterfall columns just because it looks neat. So let's do that. So if you want kind of a fountain or a town center look without using the official ones, you can do something like this. Let's get all the way around it here. I do love these waterfall columns, and of course they will also, you can swirl them around. They make teed off shapes as well if you want to do that. I like the little rounded edges. And I also love these flower pathways. Now they only go the one direction, so you always have to only put them that direction. You can close off a path with a tile. That always looks good to just kind of make it have a finished look to it. Let's remove that center one and see what happens. See? Now if you take out the center, it just goes right back to the plain trellis look without the dome. That also looks nice, and you could also have a feature piece inside if you wanted to. I would put maybe a statue or something in there. I think would look really cool. Or, you know, one of these botanical bliss clocks from the previous scenes. That looks kind of cool there. Or even one of those pretty myrtle trees from last month's set would look really pretty. I like that. That's kind of cool. Alright, this one, it also makes a pathway like that, you see. Oh, I need to get more of those as well to show you. I just want you to see how it looks when you combine them, actually. See, it gives you more space, so it's almost like a, you could use it for like a rock garden or something. I don't care for this as much connected, but you can connect it if you want to. I just don't think it looks good. I was looking for the other little rock pathway that also goes with those. But these, I think, look better to alternate in between these types of bushes. I think this makes a nice border as well, to just alternate the bougainvilleas with the pink Zen garden ones. Now, clearly you're not going to do a whole thing like that. You know, that's going to be a little bit much. But that looks really pretty by itself. So let's take some of these off. It gives you an idea of what you can do. Okay, let's see what else we have in here. Okay, these also, again, it's going to be the same where I prefer to have them spaced out. If you put them together, it does make like a little rose pathway. That's nice if you want to circle it around something, but again, it's really not my favorite. If I'm gonna do that, I would prefer to do these, and this is what I've shown you in the previous video, combining these flowers with these soiree flower beds. I just think that looks a lot prettier. So let's do this as if it was another little pathway here. We'll do one in the center and then surround them again with these little guys. And then you can make your pathway keep, you know, coming all the way down here. Oop. And that looks really cool too. So there's another option that's really pretty. Then you've got these fences. Now by themselves, of course, they are just a tree. And I kind of like those that way as well. It just looks nice, and you can set off a pathway that way. And let me show you these pathways. This, I don't care for how it makes the little watery section there. That drives me bonkers. If it's spread out enough, it will make one nice and then just one to be a little water path. But if you connect it like this, oh no, yeah, like that little individual square, then it makes both of them that way. So not crazy about that. Now what you can do is combine paths but have them be a little bit separated out, like alternating with another type of path. And I actually really like the look of this. It's just kind of gives it a little bit more flair. And then you avoid, especially that one tile pathway, you avoid that dumb little water part that I think looks really stupid that way. To each their own though. I mean, in some circumstances it does look nice and it works fine. So I like to combine these two, and you can also combine the regular tile pathway with that as well. I'm going to take this out just so it bends properly. There we go. And again, you can separate it this way. Now with the tile, if you're going to do it with just the plain tile, you have to have it to where it will, like you couldn't have this one here or else it's going to make it go, it won't connect properly. You can connect it that way though. And then even add in, you know, some more tile pieces if you want, like that. And that's a cool combination too. I personally use the stone ones with the regular pathways as well, because a lot of the buildings actually have sections that connect to that kind of red brick road, so it kind of needs that space. But see, it all connects really, really well that way too. So that's another good option for connecting them. Let's see what else we have in here. I only have one of these stepping stones. That kind of goes with the Zen garden as well, those pink flowers. Okay, let's get rid of some of this for a minute. Some of these pathways here. And I did show you those things. Of course, when you put these together, it makes a fence, and that just can go all the way around. I'll show you how I've used these in orchid as well, and regular examples of use. Okay, these are also really pretty because you can also have them just as simple flower planters with pathways coming out of them. Again, that looks really pretty. Let's take this out and let's put in just the regular pathway going through here. So you can see how that looks when you've got those just used as planters. Now, however, you can also use them as a fence when you combine them. And that looks completely different. Now, I have this around my schoolyard when I use it as a fence. Now, the only thing is, you'll notice this is set up correctly, but because of how the artwork is done, it looks funny. It looks like it's off a little bit, but it isn't. It just gives that appearance. So you might not be into that so much. So let's take that out. I do love just these little, like as if it was a flower planter. I think that looks really cool, and you can put in the edging of things like that. I think that looks better. Let's take out all of our little waterfall columns here. And let's play around some more with the hedges, etc. Take that path out. Take this out for now. Alright, so we got our water around there still. Now, do I have more hedges is the question. I don't know if I do. You can always put these box hedges in there. Let's actually take out the water too for now. See how else we can play around with this. Take this out of the center. Again, remember, you can always do your little dome and have the 5 domes completely in the center if you want, or just have it done separately. Let's pull these on the side. And again, you notice as soon as you pull that over to a corner, it takes away the arch. So it's just something to be aware of. Oops, how have I done this? So you can really get crazy with that if you had a bunch of them. Stick it in there. Let's pull some of these out and make it wider. And actually, let's see. How have I done that? That needs to go here. Ooh, it gets confusing. Alright, I'm going to pull some of these out again. Let's take these out and then do the hedges only for now so you're not confused. Okay, that's something right there too I like, is just doing the squares, because then again you can have a centerpiece. You can do these in the middle if you wanted to, although it's a little too squared off for me. I would rather like make that its own edging, and then have a different shape in the middle if you want. You can do these. Looks kind of cool. And get some of those towers in there. Let me do this. You can square it off here. These are a little too big, I think, personally. Might look better to have on either side if you were going to do that. Oops, not that. I have another one of these somewhere. Where's my other clock tower? Missing it. Where'd you go? There it is. So, let's do this. It's a cool way of doing it. And let's add in some of our flowers here. You can even put these in like this, even though they're pathways. And just have them going out like that. I think thought I had another one. Do I not? Of course. Oh, well, duh, it's right here. Silly me. Alright, and then do this number. Oops. There we go. I mean, we can just go all out. There we go. But you see what I mean? There's so many ways you can do this and just give it a whole unique look. Although honestly, I prefer these to be ends because this looks better on the sides. I can poof it out some more. I mean, look at that. That looks awesome. You can put these on the ends. So we've got towers on sides and then the little wrought iron planters on the other side. And you could totally just keep this going around. Let me do this, in fact, just put these on either side of that. Then I need more of these little guys and put them completely around. Not that. Here we go. I mean, look how gorgeous this is. It just looks really cool. It just makes something really special and unique. Now, of course, clearly, it's not a path you can actually go through, but it's just kind of a cool look to it. Alright, let's say we want to keep this idea a little bit, but we actually want to make a pathway. So we're going to take these out and maybe make them kind of entrances into the pathway. Let's scoot our flower paths back to the center again, make them actually a real path. Okay. And we will do clock towers on this side instead, entering into the path. And now let's pull this out, make these go beside it, and instead we will actually make a pathway. So now we just need some more hedges. I don't think I have any more of those little guys currently. So we need to, there we go. This actually goes here. Oops, there. Sometimes you have to click it one more time in order to get it to go the direction you need it to go in. So this actually does center. Now you don't want that in the middle anymore because, you know, you have to actually get somewhere. Now look what you can do. You can have that cool dome right in the middle, but it's a single dome now instead. And let's pull these in to be right in the center. Kind of gives it a flowery look. And let's see what else we can do here. What else should we do? I'm almost thinking, boy, if you had, those would look awesome in the very center actually, and pulling these out. Let's do that. So it's nice and tall in the middle and then going down in the look. I think that's cool. So if you had a bunch of those clock towers and you didn't know what to do with them, here's some options. I think I have some more, but they're elsewhere. Anyway, so that's a couple options for you. Or you could just stick these little guys in. If we're going for only strictly stuff that is, you know, available all the time in the shop, then that would be a good option for you to do. And isn't that pretty? I think that just looks so pretty. And then you can get your little pathways coming out, going out here with stone. And let's, ooh, I forgot about this little checkerboard grass. You know, you can even make a bigger checkerboard with it. I just think this looks kind of cool too. We're going to make it like a total garden theme going on here. Like if you were in some fancy gardens. Let's throw some over here as well. So there you go. There's another cool option for you. And of course these little guys are always pretty by themselves, but again they'll connect and zigzag all around. So let's throw those over here. Make it look awesome. So there you go. Just another cool way of doing things. Look how pretty that is. There are endless ways that you can use these, so just have fun with it. I'm going to put all of these back inside of on my boat so I can get them back on my own island. And then I'll show you really quick the only other thing that I think people get confused on a lot or don't realize the potential of is actually the water. So let's get all these put back on my boat. And then I will show you how I use them in real life examples, as well as how I use them, or how you can use the water. So first of all, let's go back to Orchid, because this is where I have my lake. And a lot of people wonder how I have water that big, and they're always like, I don't see any water that's that big in the shop. Let me show you. This is so simple. All it is the stream. Look, so if you pull this over here, you can see a difference. You see the outline, and you see when I pull it out, it has that edge, like the little beachy edge. That's because it's just the stream one right in here in this tile section, not that water that looks like a pool, but the one that is 5 diamonds, and it is a stream. So there's this regular water you can add to. That I recommend because it's got a lot of flower count, so those are good to have with your water as well. But it's just this stream. That's all it is. And you'll notice, like here, where I have it only in one, it looks like a little stream flowing down. When you put it on the edge of that bridge, it gives it the effect of a stream. But then when you put it all side by side and with other items, it looks like it's just a lake, which is awesome. So like you see, the edges of it are going to be like the edge of the lake. You've got your little reeds, etc. But then when you you know, put it side by side, it's a lake. Now I do recommend also getting these from the shop because they give you a nice smooth edge against other decorations. This was from a challenge. This was from the Deja Vu shop. That is from the main shop. So anything like this has a nice clear edge that's really nice to go against things that you don't want those little reedy look to. And then the other is nice along just a regular edge of the water, the shoreline. So that I definitely wanted to point out as well. I need to put my little stone pathway back where I had it. So let's get you. So there's my pathway back. The little stone one is hidden behind the Talbot's house. I've got a little stone path connecting to this gazebo and to the little swing, as well as to the stilt house. This is how I've done my fence for the school. I've also got a picket fence for my house. And notice I don't have sharp edges. It's not squared off. I have them kind of inset just to add a little more variety. And then this is my checkerboard pattern. The only reason I got that is because I have these little characters in here that were won for challenges, so I needed to have a place to put them because they had the checkerboard underneath them. So I decided to kind of add that to my little campus feel. Here's combination paths that I've got going on here, and of course flowers, the borders which I've showed you previously, and my floral pathways. More borders and flower edging down here, all done in different ways. And of course this is all stuff that I'm waiting on being built still for the seasonal set. This is all going to change significantly once I get more of my Venice set items in place. So that looks like it's about it. That should give you some good ideas though for how to use your pathways and your hedges and your columns. So all of those items, you can combine them in so many creative ways. So let me know in the comments below if you have any suggestions or questions. And thanks so much for watching.